Hey there everybody, this is Lee with Creative2xmom Mom, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing a plan with me for homeschool. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Lee and this is Creative2xmom Mom. This channel is all about homeschooling, parenthood, and thriving in the day-to-day. Right now we are definitely working on thriving as I have road construction going on right outside my house, so I've snuck away so that you can actually hear me film this intro. I'm going to be joining a collaboration that is hosted by the Walkdock Way as well as Rooted with Rest. They're going to be doing a monthly collaboration for all of us homeschoolers out there, and today's topic is a plan with me. So now that it's Friday and it's the Friday before the first week of our new homeschool year, I think I probably need to start doing some planning. I have all of my curriculum purchased, but I haven't put pen to paper at all for what we're going to be doing next week. I think I'm in denial that summer is actually over. My high schooler went back to school on Tuesday, and my two little guys and I have been working on just savoring this last week of summer. But school is starting on Monday, and I am going to be sunk without a plan. So I'm going to pull out the school books, share with you what we are using this year for 4th grade and 7th grade, and hopefully get that first week planned. So I'm working in my planner from the Family Nest, and I've just gone through and put in the dates across the top. I started with the blue pen and it was dying, so I've been going over it with the orange. This is for the week of August 17th. This will be our first week of school. Somewhere on the page I like to put what week we are in. We work in 6-week blocks with our charter school. Those are our learning periods. So we would be in week 1 of this learning period. I like to keep track of that because then it gives me a good gauge for pacing and where I want to be. Down the side, I've got my kids broke up. So I've got Josiah's math, Josiah's language arts, Josiah's science, history. They do history together. Lydia's math, Lydia's language arts, Lydia's science, and morning basket. At some point in the year, I get tired of them having 2 different sciences, and I usually combine them. But right now, we are just starting out, and so I'm got them working on 2 different things. I'm going to go through and put in our morning basket because that stays pretty consistent. I need to come up with a little bit of a different plan this year based on the classes they're taking at the charter, so it might change a little. And I have jury duty on the 2nd day of school, so that's going to be a challenge to figure out this first week. How much do I plan? How much do I not plan? I generally only plan a week, maybe 2 weeks at a time, just in case things get knocked off for events like this. So for their math, I just went ahead and put whatever lesson they were working on. This sometimes gets knocked off too. I'll just have them do the evens a lot of times because there could be up to 60 problems on a page. So I'll have them do the evens, and then if they don't do very well, we'll go back and do the odds the next day. This gives me room to kind of give sort of a grade to the assignment. I have them read for 30 minutes each day in whatever book they're working on. I try to make sure that this is sort of a free choice reading, but it's also age appropriate. I did the same thing with my daughters, and I put down her reading just to check it every day. And then with her math book, she has, I don't know, algebra tends to get a little crazy, and there was a lot of problems on these lessons. So I went through and I circled the ones that I wanted her to do each day, and I also put little directions. Like, I remember working on this concept with Noah, and it was pretty challenging. So for this section, I'm going to have her work with me. And then again, for this section, I want to have her work with me. But as you can see, there is, I don't know, 64 problems on this lesson, which would be very overwhelming for a day. So I just went through and marked a variety of questions for her to work on. And then I went through and put in our morning basket for the week. This is going to change a little bit this year because our outside classes are changing. But what I have for now is LPP, which is Little Pilgrim's Progress. We're going to read a couple chapters a day. We're going to work on our memory work, which might be a hymn or a folk song. Poetry, we're going to be studying Wordsworth for the first term. Analogies, I have some analogy books they're going to be working through this year. And Bible. I feel like there was more when I was planning this out separately, but I can't find my list. And because we keep the first day kind of light, I put a game in there. We might not do that during morning time, but I want to remember to do it. Tuesdays, I'm still working on what that's going to look like because I'm gone this week. LPP, memory, artist. We're going to be studying Monet for the beginning of the year. We're going to do a chalk lesson with You Are an Artist on Wednesdays, and Bible. Thursdays are going to be LPP, memory work, our composer study, which will be, I'm trying to remember, Tchaikovsky I think we're starting with, and Bible. And then LPP on Fridays, memory work, we're going to be working through the Simply Charlotte Mason bird study, and Bible. I think Tuesday was supposed to be a bird study as well. I just won't be home this week. And since it's our first week back, I'm giving them a pass on science and history, Lydia's science as well. The only thing I've put in here is I want Josiah working on his geography, so I have him down for Mondays and Thursdays to do some work in that book. Okay, so I just continued on. We are going to stay with Rod and Staff for my oldest. She's starting in the A Time for Peace. This is the 8th grade book. Yes, she is in 7th grade. Yes, I still think this is a grade ahead, so she'd actually be doing 9th grade. We're going to take it really slow and steady. This 8th grade curriculum does not have a workbook like all the others have had in the past. So what I did was I put a post-it note at the end of the lesson. We're going to split up each lesson by 2 days, and that would still give us, I believe, 120 lessons. There's also a test booklet that you can purchase with this, but we usually just go through the reading book, and she gets a lot out of it. So I've just put down what problems I want her to work on. There are questions at the end that are class discussion, and there was 3 for this lesson. So I said pick 2 and answer each one in paragraph form. I just went through and put a post-it note on each lesson that she's going to have this week. So that's what we have for her, what we call reading workbook. That would be her language arts lesson. And then for grammar, she's back in the 7th grade book. We actually did not finish this last year, and we found that it was way above 7th grade, but she's going into 7th grade this year, so we're going to start it over again. So when I planned grammar, we aren't going to start grammar until Wednesday. I just put what number it is, and then I'll go through with her and we'll pick out which problems she's going to do on those. For my 4th grader, we're going to continue on with the Rod and Staff grammar, but for his actual reading, I downloaded the Good and the Beautiful Level 4 reading and the Creative Companion. We're going to try that this year. I was not super impressed with Rod and Staff's 4th grade reading because it goes straight from sort of everyday language to what I would call King James Version, and I did not like that it was just all or nothing in the 4th grade. Once you get to the 5th grade, it goes back to half and half. But for 4th grade, we're going to try something different. So we're going to try the Good and the Beautiful. I put down the lesson number and what page it is when you get into it. We, obviously, because we're doing a grammar workbook, we're not going to use their grammar or their spelling. So I just put down what page number, and then I'll kind of go through it with him. It's supposed to be a more independent curriculum, but since I'm cutting things out, we will work on it together. And then I put the Creative Companion lesson and page for each day. For him, I've got his grammar laid out. Now, like I said, we are not going to be doing their spelling, so where is spelling this week? Since it's the first week, I just took out spelling. We will start that next week. I try to keep the first week a little bit lighter. The other thing you'll see is an abbreviation here that is FR, and I think I put those on my daughters too. 2 days a week, they're going to do French on Duolingo, and then he'll have spelling here. I'm trying to think, there was one other thing I was forgetting. I think somewhere in, since Lydia is not doing spelling, I may have her do a little bit of typing throughout the week. Obviously, I have a lot of gaps because this is week 1. I didn't plan a super heavy week. I'm going to be gone this day, and I don't want my husband to be super overwhelmed. Plus, it's the first week of school. But to give you an idea of what's coming up, we will be using Abeka Science this year. I have my son in the 4th grade and my daughter in the 7th grade. And I will just go through and plan a lesson each week. I don't purchase the tests typically. I like to make my own tests, but we will do the comprehension questions as we go along and some hands-on projects. I wish this curriculum was just a little bit more user-friendly as far as the projects go, but we make it work for us. So that's what we have for science. And then for history, they will do history together. We're doing Story of the World Volume 4 this year. So there will be lots of outlining in that as well, and lots of projects in our history. That's part of the reason why I love that history curriculum, is we can do it together and there's lots of projects to work on. So that's just a little bit of how I plan the first week of school. Of course, some unusual circumstances this year. If you like this video and you'd like to see some more plan with me in the future, maybe a little bit more with our science and history, and also how I use this checklist, you'll see that video coming up soon. Like this video and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you would like to see as far as planning lessons. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.